entitled Peace of Mind. Peace of mind is a result not of money in the bank, but of prayer and meditation. The more one contacts God in meditation, the more he feels descending upon him a blanket, as it were, of inner peace, cooling his body, calming his restless impulses, and thrilling his nerves with ever new delight. Peace is like a weightless waterfall, washing away all worries and bestowing a new, glad sense of confidence. Peace of mind is his who knows that God is his only treasury. And let's affirm together. From pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
From pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
From pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
And whispering from pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
And silently, from pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace. All that I own is thine, Lord. Help me to know thee as the river of peace, running silently beneath the sands of my life's experiences. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Morning. This is a reading from Whispers from Eternity, a book of poems and prayers by Swami Kriyabans. I vow never again to turn my gaze from thee. I take this sacred vow, never will I lower my love's gaze below the eyebrow horizon of my constant thoughts of thee. Never will I turn my uplifted inner sight away from thee. Never will I let my mind dwell on anything that reminds me not of thee. I will disdain the nightmare of ignorant behavior. I will court all dreams of noble achievement, those of love, kindness, and understanding, for they are thy dreams. Though I dream many dreams, wakefully I will ever think of thee. In the sacred fire of constant remembrance, kept ever alight on my soul's altar, I will ever behold thy presence with the watchful eyes of devotional love. Thy grace has shown me that the dualities of health and sickness, life and death, joy and sorrow are but passing fantasies. I am finished with those eternally self-canceling delusions. I am persuaded at last that there is but one abiding reality, thy eternal, ever-conscious, ever-new, ever-thrilling infinite bliss. And this is a reading from Autobiography of a Yogi. From the chapter Mother's Death and the Amulet. This is a letter that was written to Yogananda and was given to him on his mother's death by his brother. The mother gave it to the brother, and then the brother read this to Ananda after his mother's death. And this is part of the letter. Later, my son, your vision of the great light was known to me and your sister Roma, as from the next room we observed you motionless on the bed. Your little face was illuminated. Your voice rang with iron resolve as you spoke of going to the Himalayas in quest of the divine. In these ways, dear son, I came to know that your road lies far from worldly ambitions. The most singular event in my life brought further confirmation, an event which now impels my deathbed message. It was an interview with a sage in the Punjab. While our family was living in Lahore, One morning, the servant came precipitately into my room. "Mistress, a strange sadhu is here. He insists that he see the mother of Mukunda." These simple words struck a profound chord within me. I went at once to greet the visitor. Bowing at his feet, I sensed that before me was a true man of God. "Mother," he said, "the great masters wish you to know that your stay on earth will not be long. Your next illness shall prove to be your last." There was a silence, during which I felt no alarm, but only a vibration of great peace. Finally, he addressed me again. "You are to be the custodian of a certain silver amulet. I will not give it to you today. To demonstrate the truth in my words, the talisman shall materialize in your hands tomorrow as you meditate. On your deathbed, you must instruct your eldest son Ananta to keep the amulet for 1 year, and then to hand it over to your second son, Mukunda. Mukunda will understand the meaning of this talisman from the great ones. He should receive it about the time he is ready to renounce all worldly hopes and start his vital search for God. When he has retained the amulet for some years, and when it has served its purpose, it shall vanish. Even if kept in the most secret spot, it shall return whence it came." I proffered alms to the saint and bowed before him in great reverence. Not taking the offering, he departed with a blessing. The next evening, as I sat with folded hands in meditation, the silver amulet materialized between my palms, even as the sadhu had promised. It made itself known by a cold, smooth touch. I have jealously guarded it for more than 2 years, and now leave it in Ananta's keeping. Do not grieve for me, as I shall have been ushered by my great Guru into the arms of the Infinite. Farewell, my child. The Cosmic Mother will protect you. Such a stunning story, really, about the protection and guidance of Divine Mother through the great gurus, through our loved ones in our lifetime. Oftentimes, we think we're alone. We think we're living this life on our own willpower, that all of the circumstances, events in our lives, the joys, the sorrows, the successes, the failures, they're all just because of our karma, bad or good, and no one's really paying any attention to us. That we are alone, just drops in the sea of infinite nothingness. And sometimes it feels like that. And why does it? Why have we allowed ourselves to feel so separate from the very source of our happiness in God? Why do we allow ourselves to be so alone when we are infinite, when we are already united with God in perfect bliss? We are in a state of perfection right now, but we've just forgotten. And so, through our great yearning for God, God then sends books and teachings, and finally He sends a guru. And the guru has been with us all along. He's never not been with us. The same as Divine Mother has never not been with us. But as we slowly awaken to the reality of our true being, of our true reality, as we very slowly wake up and become more and more conscious through the experiences of life, then we're able to accept and to understand and to receive the blessings of the Guru. And so when that yearning gets very strong and we understand that perhaps we need a little help getting through the labyrinth of this lonely life, then the Guru will arrive. But even far beyond when the Guru, before the Guru arrives, He's there. He's watching us. He's guiding us. He's sending us to the right temple. He's sending us to being born into the right families. He's giving us the right experiences that we need to work out our karma so that we can be free in this lifetime of all karma. That's the promise of the Guru, is to free us from all karma. And so He's just not going to arrive for one incarnation. It's going to take a long time, so He's been with us all the way through. And just as the story in the autobiography illustrates, there Yogananda was losing his mother. That was a deep sadness for him. Of course, as a guru, he knows she just went into another life, another state. Just Ramakrishna said death is like walking from one room into the other. He knew that, but as an example to us, his heart was broken. He loved his mother, and he could not be consoled. And so his mother left the body, and then what? Then he yearned and prayed and stormed the gates of heaven for Divine Mother to come to him inside. And indeed she did in his attic room in Calcutta when she appeared to him. And she said, "Ever, always have I loved thee, ever shall I love thee." Those are magic words. Those are glorious words, not just for Yogananda, but for all of us. All of us. That's why she said that to him, so he could share it with us. And so with the story of the amulet, it's very interesting, because when Yogananda finally received that amulet, it awakened in him his past lives. There was secret Sanskrit writings on this metal amulet, imbued from the teachers that he had had in past lives. And it guided him until, and he got great solace from this when his brother gave it to him after his mother died. He held it close. He got great solace, and it awakened in him again this divine fervor and devotion for God. And when it disappeared from his life, that guidance from the great teachers that were guiding him all the way through, a couple days before he met his guru. And isn't that a beautiful story? Because he didn't need it anymore. This is what God had given him to guide him through the tumultuous time of his mother's death. But then, 2 days before he met his guru, it disappeared. Just as it appeared in his mother's hands in meditation, it disappeared from his life. But he knew that everything he needed was in his guru, and that he would never lose sight of him again. And so in that lifetime, he and Sri Yukteswar were very close, very close. We need to understand that the guru never leaves us. And when he's not in the body, many times people come and say, "Oh, we used to go to Swamiji and say, oh, you knew Master and we just missed him. He died in 1952. I was born in 1951, so he was on the planet, but I missed him." And I was always just, when I finally found my guru in the spiritual path, it was always this ache. And Swami would say, "He's not gone. He's here. All you have to do is open up and receive his blessing. You need to do what he says, and then open up and receive his blessing." The guru has always been there, whether he's in the physical body or not. One of the disciples asked Paramahansa Yogananda, he was bemoaning his lot of that he was so dependent on the guru. What would he do when the guru left? And Paramahansa Yogananda said, "Am I not always with you?" And another disciple went to him and said, "What are we going to do when you die? How are we going to be guided? You're so prevalent and strong in our lives." And he said, "If you think me near, I will be near." What a wonderful thought. If you think me near, I will be near. And so all we have to do is think of the guru, and he's right inside us. We become aware of his love. Always there, constantly guiding us, constantly pushing us forward with his love, with his devotion. His only job is to free us. And so if you think him near, you have no doubts. Of course he's going to be there. I wanted to share with you this letter. We put it on WhatsApp already, but this is a letter that was written in 1934 to his disciples. But he wrote it in East West magazine, and he wasn't speaking directly to his disciples. He was speaking to all of us, and it's so beautiful. I hope I can get through without crying, but I will try. So this was written in 1933 by Yogananda to the East West magazine. To my friends, To my friends in all lands and in all worlds, greetings and goodwill. And when you hear this, think that he's talking right to you, because he is. Wherever you are, whoever you are, of whatever race, color, or creed, I send you my love and the pledge of my loyalty. You, who for thousands of years, or for only a day, have worked and fought for justice, freedom, and truth, receive my gratitude and devotion. You who dwell in palaces or hovels, in cities or jungles, in mansions or dungeons, if in your hearts there is the urge toward higher, better living and loftier ideals, believe me when I say I am your friend and that I count you blessed, friends of mine. Many of you I have known in the past, and some of you I have never seen, but I think that in God's appointed time I shall meet each one of you face to face and give you proof of my affection. However, it matters little that we are not together now, nor does it matter that time and space may separate us by almost infinite distances. The only thing that counts is that we are friends, working together in a common cause, the cause of righteousness and the expansion of the consciousness of the children of the Most High. Although I see you not, I often feel your presence near, or thrill with the noble thoughts which you send out to find their home in minds attuned to yours. Although you may never read the words which I am penning now, I declare to you that you shall feel the vibrations of tenderness and kindliness which emanate from me to all of you. Our work, our love, our purposes are one. March on, dear friends, to higher, brighter goals. Continue in your dreams of happier days and in your deeds of service to your kind. Protect the torch of faith from winds of doubt, and let no storm disturb your peace of mind. Farewell, dear friends of mine, until we meet. Paramahansa Yogananda. And on this celebration of his birthday, it's very important to know that he is with us, whether we've seen him or not, whether we even know who he is or not yet, and that he will always be with us until that glorious day when all of our karma is finished and we go into the light and we see Master, the spiritual eye, and we go through and we're free. We're free to go, we're free to come back and help. That is our destiny. Master said our destiny is to be free. And so each one of us is going to achieve that. We're going to experience that. Everyone in this room, everyone that's listening, everyone that is in tune will, everybody that is ever born, at some point will achieve that moment where we realize we're one with God. What a moment. And we should hold that in our hearts. We should hold that in our meditations. We should see that as our only goal in life. Let the world come and go. Let all of the ups and downs of Maya come and go. But God will never go. God will never go. Yesterday, we had a level 1 how to meditate class. And, just what Master says in this letter, he said, all those who help lift the consciousness of this planet in any way that we can, any way. Planting a beautiful garden, reading to your children spiritual books, dressing in a nice way so people see you and are uplifted in the street, listening to music. Anything that we do to uplift the consciousness is recognized by the Guru. And yesterday, I wanted to say a special thanks to one of our teachers who was lifting consciousness. We had this level 1, and we had 22 people. Now, that's the biggest class we've had in a long time. So we were really thrilled. And so we set up the room, and it was just all perfect, and the altar was beautiful, and the teacher arrived, and before she arrived, she was in the Babaji's cave chanting. And I said to Haridas, isn't that a beautiful sound? Somebody's chanting in Babaji's cave. It could be Babaji himself, who knows? And we were so uplifted, and we came downstairs, and the minute we walked downstairs, they started drilling for a well right next door. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard the sound of the drilling of a well, but it sounds like the Third World War is happening right here in the living room. Bombs are dropping. You can't hear a thing. We were shouting at each other, trying to hear each other. And here are the 22 people coming for how to meditate. The house was shaking with the noise. And we just thought, oh, Divine Mother, what are we going to do? So we quickly ran through all these plans. But the teacher said, no, 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 no. I'll do the class. And so all 22 people stayed. And she had the brilliant idea of teaching energization instead of meditation. It was perfect because she had them up and moving and not fighting against what God had sent. It was, okay, what's trying to happen here? And we hope they all come back next week. We
have two of them
here. We have two right here. Two came. But it was so inspiring to me to see a disciple of Master just say, okay, now what do we do? Instead of fighting about the situation, instead of saying, I wish it wasn't this way, why does it have to be this way, and complain, it was, okay, let's just do something about it. And because of that attitude, Master was able to come in and touch the souls of people that were here, and consciousness was uplifted. It's a beautiful story, really. And last night, I'm one of the ones that kind of complain about the noise, I have to say. The noise, the traffic, the motorcycles, and then the drill, and the dogs, and the dogs, and the dogs. The dogs at night. I'm always thinking, when are the dogs going to go? I haven't really fixed that in myself yet, but it fixed last night. And I think it's because of the inspiring situation yesterday. So I'm going to share this with you. I had a dream. I had a dream. And I usually don't share my dreams, but this fits so perfectly. So in my dream, I was meditating. I was meditating in my dream. And there was this vast green field. And it was so quiet, so still. No motorcycles, no drill, no noise. It was finally no dogs barking at night, nothing. And I was meditating, and I was going deeper and deeper, and it was so peaceful, and I was so blissful. And then I turned around. Something made me turn around. I looked behind me, and there were about 20 dogs right behind me. 20 dogs. And they were all smiling at me. They were smiling. It's a true dream. And they were just watching me. And I looked closer, and it was Master's last smile on all of their little noses. It was amazing. And I thought, okay, Master, I get it. I get it. I'm not going to complain anymore.
Yeah, friends.
Really, there was Master's last smile on the dogs that have been bothering me for 10 years in India. And I thought, he's here. He's here in the drills. He's here in the irritations. He's here in this world. He's here in the Maya. He's here. He's not separate from our lives. And that's Him shining through every experience that we have. That's Him saying, I'm doing this with you. You're not alone. Remember the amulet. You're not alone. I'm always with you. So when things get really, really irritating and sad and troublesome for you, just remember those dogs with Master's smile on their little faces. That's God, Divine Mother. That's God coming through all of nature, all of our relatives, all of our experiences. He's never, never away from us.